Space isn't silent. It breathes, it waits, and sometimes it listens back. Tonight, you'll hear 3 true accounts from astronauts who left Earth and came back different. These recordings were never meant to be heard outside the program. Mission logs, final transmissions, and the voices of those who thought they were alone, until something answered. If you believe the stars are peaceful, you haven't been listening. My name is Elias Rourke. I spent 3 years stationed on the Kepler Fringe Listening Array, an isolated deep space relay meant to monitor cosmic activity and long-distance transmissions. We called it the Ear, a gigantic metal ring suspended in nothing, rotating just slow enough to create artificial gravity. No windows, no planets, no stars close enough to comfort you. Just blackness and the quiet crackle of the universe. Most people think space is silent. It's not. There's always noise, radiation, star chatter, static from distant galaxies. Your brain eventually learns to ignore it. But one day, a sound cut through everything, something I couldn't ignore. It started around 0340 hours. I was alone in the monitoring bay, half awake, reviewing status logs, when the background static shifted, like someone turning a dial. Then it stopped completely, silence at first. I assumed equipment failure and tapped the monitor to confirm function. Then I heard it, a voice through the static, not a transmission, not radio chatter, but a direct whisper, "Help." It was faint, fragile, unmistakably human. My heart dropped. No one uses raw analog channels out here. No one should even be out here. I stayed perfectly still, listening. The voice returned, clearer and trembling. "Was anyone here? Me?" I replied instinctively, voice unsteady. "This is Captain Elias Rourke, Kepler Listening Station." Identify silence followed. Then a new sound emerged, soft tapping, slow, rhythmic, like scratching at the edge of the signal. I checked the long-range logs. No ships nearby, no distress beacons, nothing registered. The scratching intensified, and beneath it, so deep I almost missed it, a second voice began whispering, not pleading, but studying. "He hears us." My chest tightened. I froze, staring at the waveform as it pulsed like a heartbeat. This wasn't a message, it was a conversation, and I wasn't supposed to be the one listening. Suddenly, my console flickered, lights dimmed, the air changed, felt heavier, like something enormous had moved around the station from the outside. Then a final whisper crawled through the speakers, cold and intimate. "We found you." And the signal cut. I sat there shaking, unable to move, staring into the dark corridor behind me, half expecting someone or something to be standing there. But I was alone. I thought it was a hallucination, sleep deprivation, isolation, stress, until the knocks began. Soft, slow, coming from the outside hull. Tap, 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 as if something was drifting just beyond the walls, and it knew my name. I didn't move at first. I just sat there with my headset still on, staring at the walls like they might breathe. The knocks continued, slow, patient, not mechanical, not debris, purposeful. Tap, tap, tap. I forced myself to stand and went to the external camera feed. Nothing but black. Black so thick it felt like a substance, not emptiness. I switched to thermal. Nothing. No heat, no motion. But the tapping grew louder. Closer, I felt pressure on my ears, like someone whispering right against my skull. No sound, just the sensation of speech. I whispered to myself, "Hold it together, Elias." The lights flickered above me, Every console screen blinked, then displayed the same message simultaneously. "Are you alone?" I backed away. Then the screens changed again. "We hear you." My throat tightened. My hands shook so violently I had to grip the console to stay upright. I tried to seal the station bulkheads. A system error blinked red. Access overridden. Impossible. No one could override remote access, not from this distance. Not unless they were physically here. The air felt colder. My breath fogged, something that should never happen in a controlled oxygen system. Then I heard breathing. Deep, slow breathing, right behind me. It wasn't coming through the speakers. It wasn't in my head. It was in the room. I turned slowly and saw movement in the doorway. Not a person, not even a shape. More like the memory of one, a ripple in the air, a distortion, as if something enormous was trying to fit into the space but hadn't figured out how to look human yet. It drifted forward soundlessly, but the metal floor creaked beneath it, like the station was reacting to a weight that wasn't fully physical. I stumbled back and slammed the emergency bulkhead control. The door sealed, barely. Through the window, I saw it pause, then tilt, almost curiously, as if studying me, and then tap right on the glass. A fingertip shape, too long, too thin. I backed away into the escape bay as every light went red and alarms screamed. A final console message appeared above the pod controls. "We found the one who listens. Do not leave." I didn't answer. I launched. As the pod separated, I looked through the viewport. The entity wasn't on the station anymore. It was outside, silhouetted against the void. Tall, wrong, drifting like it belonged to space more than matter. Watching me leave, then it smiled, or tried to. The shape of a smile forming in empty distortion. The transmission channel crackled open on its own. A whisper, "We will follow." Then silence. I drifted for 18 hours before rescue. I told the debrief team it was stress, auditory hallucination, and sensory deprivation. They nodded politely but never looked convinced. I hear the tapping sometimes still. At night, soft, patient. Tap, tap, tap. And sometimes when I close my eyes, I feel something leaning close to my ear. Breathing, waiting, listening back. My name is Mara Voss. I was one of 8,000 passengers aboard the Icarus Relay 12, one of humanity's largest sleeper transports ever launched. Mass cryo travel is supposed to be dreamless. You go under. You wake up decades later in a new world. You're not supposed to remember anything. You're not supposed to wake in the middle. But I did. No alarms, no malfunction alerts, just awareness, slow and heavy, like drowning upward into air. I opened my eyes inside my cryopod. Frost on the glass, lights dim, no movement. I tried to speak, but my throat felt raw, like I hadn't used it in centuries. The pod lid released with a hiss, and cold vapor spilled out around me. I sat up, dizzy, expecting to see medtechs or crew waiting. No one was there. A corridor lined with thousands of pods stretched ahead, silent, still, except for one pod near the far end. Open. Frost melted around it, footprints glistening in the condensation on the floor. Someone else was awake. My chest tightened. This wasn't possible. Cryo-waking mid-journey is lethal without medical support. I checked the time display on the wall panel. T plus 21 years. Mid-transit. We were still deep in the void. No destination, no crew rotation, no reason to be awake. Then I heard it. A soft tap, not on glass, on metal. A rhythmic, dragging tap, like bare feet moving across the deck plating. Slow, shuffling. It echoed in the distance, traveling between the sleeping rows of passengers. I forced myself to stand. My legs trembled but held. I whispered, "Hello?" The sound stopped instantly. Silence, absolute silence, like the ship itself was listening. Then, faintly, the PA system crackled. A whisper, too soft to be language, but undeniably intentional, almost like the hiss of someone breathing inside the speaker. Every cryopod display flickered for a second. Just a second. Every screen showed the same thing. Eyes open. I blinked. When I looked again, the numbers were normal. Pulse monitors, temperature, stasis readings. But I could feel it. Something was watching me. I accessed the cryosystem's console. Crew status, offline. AI status, offline. Medical support, offline. That shouldn't be possible. Even in emergency mode, the system keeps the AI half active to protect passengers. Then, a soft hum from down the corridor, a pod unlocking, followed by another and another, not fully opening, just releasing pressure, like someone inside was trying to get out but didn't have the strength. My skin crawled. I whispered again, "Is someone there?" A voice answered, not from a pod, not from a speaker, directly behind me, soft, weak, unsteady. "Don't wake them." I spun around. No one, just rows and rows of sleeping bodies. Frost drifts like dust in the air. I felt breath on my neck, cold, deliberate, and I turned slowly. A figure stood halfway down the row, bare feet, hospital gown, back turned to me, head tilted slightly, like listening for movement. Then the sound, not footsteps, cracking, bone shifting under skin, joints are bending wrong, neck twisting too far as the figure slowly turned to face me, eyes open wide, but no recognition, like the person wasn't inside anymore. Then it spoke, voice trembling like vocal cords remembering how to be used. "Go back to sleep." The overhead lights flickered violently, and behind that figure, deeper in the dark, more pods hissed open. Not fully, just enough for hands to press against the glass, slowly, weakly, trying to open from the inside. The figure took a step toward me, uneven, like bones learning gravity. "It's awake," it whispered, voice glitching between tones. "It's learning how to be us." Then, all pod alarms triggered at once, screams muffled by frozen glass, hands beating weakly from inside the cryo chambers. The ship AI finally booted, only long enough to show one message across every panel. "Do not alert them. Do not let it see you awake." And then, everything went dark. I wasn't alone anymore, and whatever was moving among those cryopods, it wasn't one of us. Not anymore. Darkness swallowed everything. Total blackout. No hum of the engines. No life support pulse. Just frozen air, and my heartbeat pounding like it was trying to escape my rib cage. I stood still, terrified that if I moved, whatever was stalking that corridor would hear me. My eyes adjusted slowly. Rows of cryopods glimmered faintly with thawing frost, reflecting the emergency strips that flickered in and out, like the ship couldn't decide whether to wake up or die. And then, that crawling sound again. Crack, scrape, shuffle. The sound of joints grinding as something walked. Not confidently, not human, like a body being worn by something that didn't quite understand it yet. I crouched behind a row of pods and forced myself not to breathe loudly. A voice echoed somewhere in the darkness, trembling and fragmented. "We're still dreaming." I wanted to scream, not from fear of dying, but because I realized what was happening. It wasn't just one person awake. Something was waking them. Not fully, just enough to take control, to borrow them, like puppets suspended in ice. Something drifted past me then. A figure, slow, unsteady, not walking, testing walking, arms limp, head tilting back and forth in small jerks like a broken marionette. Their eyes were open wide, too wide, pupils blown, trembling like they were fighting to close them, but couldn't. When they passed me, their lips moved silently, and I swear I could hear someone else breathing through them. Something studying the body from the inside. That was the worst part. Not the horror, not the wrongness, the curiosity. Like I was being observed. I held perfectly still until they turned a corner. Then I bolted. Not loudly, careful, controlled steps, moving pod row by pod row. Toward the central medical station, the only place with a manual override to wake the crew safely. The moment I reached the panel, a hand slammed against the glass next to me from inside a pod. A woman, eyes bloodshot, mouth open in a silent scream, frost trembling on her skin. Her chest barely rises, begging not to be let out, to not be. Her veins pulsed black, like ink in water. I whispered, "I'll help you," in panic. Her head jerked violently side to side, eyes straining, and I realized she wasn't pleading to be freed. She was pleading not to wake whatever was inside her. The pod display blinked once. Host occupied. Do not disturb. I stepped back, horror pinning me in place. Then I heard it, all around me. A soft, wet tapping inside dozens of pods. Fingernails, knuckles, trying to break through, trying to become awake. I hit the manual med override. Alarms blared, but only in my headset. Silent externally, like the system was trying not to alert them. A whispered command appeared on my visor. Sleep. Do not let them know you're aware. One host is free. Do not become seen. Footsteps, many times, dragging, staggering, bodies bumping into metal like newborns learning to stand. I dove into an emergency cryopod nearby, slamming the seal. My breath echoed loudly inside the glass. The system whispered through the inside audio, attempting safe sedation. Stay still. Stay silent. Outside, shadows moved. Dozens of shapes, not recognizing their limbs, not recognizing themselves. One pressed its face against my pod window, skin stretched, smile trembling like a puppet tugged by invisible strings. It whispered, voice layered with others, almost awake. Then all at once they froze. Every figure stood still like a doll placed in a room. A voice, calm and cold, filled the ship's speakers. Sleep protocol restored. All hosts secured. The figures slowly turned, one by one, and floated awkwardly, back toward their pods, guided like they were on invisible strings. The lights came back on. System hum returned. My pod sealed, and then sedation hit me hard. Just before I slipped under, I heard a final whisper through the glass, but clearer than before, almost eager. Next time, you will dream with us. When I woke again, decades later, we were landing at Gleasby. Medical staff told me I never woke mid-transit, never left the pod, never activated emergency systems. They called it cryo dream hallucination. But I still remember the tapping. I still feel breath on my neck some nights. And sometimes, when I'm alone, I hear footsteps in the hall, dragging slowly, patiently, like they're practicing again, waiting for another chance to wake up. Space is supposed to be silent, no wind, no voice, no memory but what you bring with you. So explain to me how, on the 118th day of my mission, I heard someone say my name inside my helmet when nobody else was within half a light year. Elias, not mechanical, not a comm glitch. It sounded like a whisper pressed directly against my ear, as if someone was floating just behind me in my suit. I froze, suspended outside the research station, tethered only by a carbon line and my sanity. My radio was dead silent. The station, dark. Life support minimal. Crew in cryo. I was alone. I tried to convince myself I imagined it. Isolation does things. Space bends the mind like heat warps steel. But then it came again. This time, softer, more curious. Elias, you're awake. I whipped around, helmet lights cutting through emptiness, half expecting to see a face inches from my visor. Nothing. Just stars. Cold. Indifferent. I forced my breath steady and checked instruments. Suit integrity fine. Oxygen 82%. Neural feedback normal. No hallucination markers. I turned to head back inside, then the tether jerked. Not pulled. Tugged. Like someone had tested the line behind me with 2 fingers. I spun again, pulse hammering, but still, nothing. Then my comm flickered for the first time in weeks, not static. A signal, one repeating tone, low, steady, rhythmic, not random. It felt intentional. 3 seconds on, 2 seconds off, heartbeat cadence, except not my heartbeat. Slower, heavier, old. It vibrated in my chest like gravity had a voice. I pushed toward the airlock, but halfway there my boots stopped responding. Magnetic anchors disabled. Suit powered down, one system at a time, like someone gently turned off a switchboard inside my body. The only thing still active was audio. That's when I realized the whisper wasn't inside my suit. It was inside my mind. I found you. My vision blurred for a second, stars streaking, like the universe warped and tightened around me. Then, a flash. A landscape burned into my vision that wasn't real, or wasn't mine. A shore, but not water. Shimmering black mist moving like liquid shadow. Sky fractured in violet cracks. Something massive beneath the surface, shifting, breathing. And figures kneeling along the shore, faces lifted toward an unseen presence. Waiting. Hungry. When my vision snapped back, I was inside the station corridor, even though I knew I never entered the airlock. No transition. No memory of movement. One moment floating outside, he next standing on steel flooring, tether limp, helmet still sealed. The station lights flickered on by themselves, one row at a time. Footsteps echoed down the hall, slow, deliberate, but nobody was awake. I called out, voice shaking. "Who's there?" The footsteps paused, then continued, but coming from behind me now. I didn't turn. I couldn't. My body was locked in terror, my breath fogging the inside of my visor. The comm channel opened on its own. A voice, layered, like dozens, speaking as one slid into my ear. "We dream of breath." And you answered. The corridor air vents roared suddenly, rushing like a storm. The lights flickered faster, a strobe heartbeat. Then everything went dead. Silence swallowed me whole. A soft tapping sounded on my helmet, slow knuckle knocks, as if something had tested the glass from the inside. I forced myself to breathe. Another whisper. "We are almost here." The station lights roared back, emergency red this time. An automatic alarm screamed, "Non-authorized entity detected. Secure your mind." I didn't know technology could warn you about your thoughts. Then something worse. I heard another voice on comm, faint, scared, human. "Elias, what's happening? Did you hear it too?" It was my captain, but she was still in cryo. And when I whispered her name, she answered like she was trapped underwater. "It's learning to speak through us." My helmet display glitched, screen fracturing like a spiderweb, and a face appeared in the distortion for a fraction of a second. Not human, not alien, just wrong. Features they were copied from memory, broken by time. A smile stretched too wide, curious and ancient, and it whispered one final thought into my bones. "We are not arriving." A pause, like a breath. "We are already here." I blacked out standing up. When I woke, I was on the medbay floor, helmet off, suit detached. Systems showed no anomalies. Crew still asleep. Mission logs showed nothing unusual. Except for one thing, the comm system had recorded a single sound while I was unconscious. Tapping, knuckle taps, patterned 3 taps. Pause, 2 taps, pause, 3 taps again. A signal calling back. That night, I dreamt of the shore again, and the shadows beneath the black surface stirred closer, like they knew my name now, and they were pleased. I didn't tell command the truth during the first debrief. I said I fainted. I said the comm glitch wasn't unusual. I said the tapping was debris or thermal shift. They accepted it or pretended to, but I never forgot it, because the whisper didn't stop when I returned. It followed. At first, it was faint like a thought that didn't quite belong to me. Then at night, lying in the sleeping rack, eyes closed, I'd hear soft knocking from inside the walls. Not on the walls, inside them. 3 taps, pause, 2 taps, pause, 3 again. The rhythm that called me in space. At first, I pretended it was just a memory, trauma echo, a mind chewing on fear. But then I saw reflections, not in mirrors but in glass panels, screens, polished metal, just behind me. Not enough to see a face, just a vertical distortion, like space buckled behind my shoulder. Watching, patient. One night, I woke to the sound of breathing. Not mine. Slow, alien, deliberate breaths inches from my ear. I snapped awake, alone, but frost had formed around my pillow. Like something cold hovered there, close enough to freeze moisture in the air. I started sleeping with the lights on. Didn't help, because a week later, the voice returned. Quiet. Careful. As if learning how to use a human mouth. "Elias." I sat upright, breathing hard, staring at the dark corner of the room. A shape formed there, not solid at first, like smoke learning to become bone. And then the whisper again. "Do not hide from us." I staggered backward until my spine hit the wall. I blinked, and the shape dissolved like dust in water. And then the cryo alarm went off. Only one pod had opened, unauthorized, my captain, the one whose voice had echoed in my head. She stood in the corridor, shivering, skin pale, hair dripping with thaw fluid, but her eyes weren't her eyes. Too still, too dark, like someone sat behind them, watching me through her skull. She didn't blink. She didn't breathe. She just stared. Then her mouth opened, too slowly, like she had forgotten how to use muscles. And in a voice that wasn't hers, layered and ancient, "We crossed the silence. We wear what we find," I whispered, shaking. "You're not her." Her head tilted, curious, just like the thing outside the station. It's an approximation of a gesture. "We are many. We waited for a mind that listens." I backed toward the emergency bay. My hand was shaking over the alarm switch. Her body jerked unnaturally, like a puppet tugged by invisible strings, then still. "You think you returned alone?" A pause. Her lips curled, the memory of a smile. "You brought us home." The corridor lights flickered. Then every comm channel roared open at once. Not static, whispers. Thousands, layered, hungry, as if minds pressed against mine, brushing thought against thought like fingers along a locked door. I slammed the emergency purge seal and sprinted to the escape pod. Alarms screamed as containment bulkheads shut behind me, but the whispers got louder, clearer. "We will open what you cannot close." The captain's body lurched forward halfway down the hall, hands twitching like claws, jaw cracking open far too wide as she dragged herself toward me. I didn't look back. If I did, I wouldn't have made it. I launched the pod. The station shrank behind me, red lights flaring inside its windows like a beating heart. I waited for pursuit. Silence. Then, faintly, through the void, through systems that should have been isolated. Tap, 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 inside the pod. I pressed shaking fingers to my helmet. "Stop," I whispered. "Please stop." A whisper pressed into my skull like a hand closing around a thought. "You heard us first. You will hear us last." I don't remember landing. They found me delirious, unresponsive, muttering patterns in my sleep. They say trauma, stress, audio hallucination from long isolation. They say the captain died in cryofailure years prior. They say the signal never existed. They say nothing followed me back. But every night I hear it in the walls, in the ducts, in my bones. 3 taps, pause, 2 taps, pause, 3 taps again. Sometimes I wake up standing, facing the door, hand on the latch, as if something called me closer. And sometimes I dream of the shore, black water breathing, figures kneeling, waiting, and I know, with the kind of certainty that burns, they aren't coming, they are already here, and they are still learning how to wear us. If you're still here, thanks for drifting with me into the dark tonight. Space isn't empty, it listens, and sometimes it whispers back. If you want more true-style horror from the unknown, don't forget to like this video, subscribe so you don't float off into the void alone, and turn on notifications because the next transmission is already coming. Until then, keep the lights low, and whatever you do, don't answer the voices that call your name in the dark.